Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Ritual Beast deck. So this deck actually just got Konoha back to 3, which was one of the only 3 moves that actually happened on the ban list, or as we might as well call it, the unban list. But it's really cool that this card actually went back to 3, because it makes the deck not quite so fragile, and it's really exciting for this card to be at 3, because it's been probably a 1 for, I think it's like 5 years or something like that. But it makes the deck super interesting with all the combo potential that it actually has. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting a signed card sent to you in the mail, getting a deck profile of your choice every single month, or even getting your name in the description of every single DarkArmedDuelist video. So, without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Ritual Beast Tamer Elder, which Tamer Elder is probably the best of the Ritual Beast Tamers, except for Winda, because what he does is he gives you an additional normal summon, which lets you get 2 monsters on the field, and pretty much the big combo of the entire deck is getting Elder Konoha, and then going into Ulti Konoha, and then looping through and getting Steeds and Bond, or Steeds and Ambush on your side of the field, where you can just have up to like 5 or 6 pops on your side of the field, and these special summon back monsters as well, which is really cool to just overwhelm your opponent. Then we play 2 copies. I choose to play 2 copies of Ritual Beast Tamer Win, which Ritual Beast Tamer Win lets you special summon a Ritual Beast that's been banished. But something that you have to keep in mind with all of your Ritual Beasts is you can only special summon Ritual Beasts, each one of them, once per turn. So, like, if you special summon out your Elder and you special summon out your Win, you can only special summon out Elder once and Win once when you contact out the copy of Konoha. So that's something that you have to keep in mind, so you have to keep floating through your Ritual Beast monsters. But Win is a really good combo starter as well, but she's good later in the combo. But I still like playing her as a 2-of, because if you get that additional normal summon off of double summon, you do have additional plays that you can go off with and just extend even further. Then I play a single copy of Ritual Beast Tamer Lara. Lara's really good because she revives one from Graveyard. And then I play 1 copy of Zeref Piccola. She basically does the same thing as Lara. When she's normal or special, or when she's normal summon, you can target 1 Ritual Beast or Zeref monster in your graveyard and then special summon it, but destroying it during the end phase. So basically they do the exact same thing. So you're basically playing 2 Lara, 2 of this, or 2 Lara to win. But by playing the Zephyr Piccola, it's a different name, so you can special summon her as well, which is kind of cool. Then we play 3 copies of Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. Winda is really one of the best, probably the best card in the deck besides Elder Konoha, in my opinion, because she has the name of Spiritual Beast Tamer, so she's not only a spiritual beast, but she's also a tamer as well, so you can use her for either or position, which is really cool. And if she's in your owner's possession is destroyed by opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, you can special summon a Ritual Beast monster from your deck or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which for me is always Ulti Grifalo that I special summon off the copy of the Winda, which is really an awesome card that has extra negation potential for the entire deck, so it's a really amazing card to have. Then we play 3 copies of Spiritual Beast Konoha. Spiritual Beast Konoha is once per turn you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your deck face up, and then during the second standby phase after its activation, you get to add the banished card back to your hand. But really, when you play through the deck, you usually don't add it back anyways. What you're usually doing is normal summoning the Elder, special summoning the normal summoning the Konoha. Konoha effect, banish your copies of Rapingu. Rapingu triggers, and Rapingu's effect is once per turn you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, and then send a Ritual Beast monster from your deck, from your deck to the graveyard. So basically, then you send from your deck to the graveyard, or from your extra deck to the graveyard, your copy of Grifalo, and then you send Winda to the graveyard, or banish the Grifalo, special summon Winda, or not special summon Winda, but send Winda to graveyard. And then after you do that, you've got a setup where you can start contact fusing your copies of your Konohawks and stuff like that, that you can just start going off. So you have plenty of plays there. Then we play a single copy of a Paleo because it's just a 1-of for the name. Because once per turn during the player's turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast from your graveyard. And for the rest of the turn, Ritual Beast monsters gain 500 attack and events, which is really good just to give you that additional 500 attack and events. But being able to manage your resources that are banished, put them in the banished pile is where you really would like to have them. So you can just contact them in and out and use Konohawk's effect over and over again. So this card really helps out with that. I play a single copy of Petalfin. Petalfin is really good, or Pink Dolphin. I just usually call it Pink Dolphin. But Pink Dolphin's really good because It's just another name, essentially, and is a one-of, because it also helps because it lets you target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand if you banish a Ritual Beast from your hand. So it can help you get those one-of Ritual Beasts out of your hand to just be able to get you more plays off and spin cards on your opponent's side of the field so you don't have to pop them with your copies of Steeds. Like, if it can't be destroyed, use Petalfin and spin them. And then I play 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter is insanely good because if you draw this first turn, you sometimes win the entire game. Like if you start with this card, because you can just discard it. If you have no cards in your graveyard, you can quick effect, even on your opponent's turn, just discard it, and then send this card from your hand to the grave, and then until the end phase of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So it just banishes everything. So decks that just revolve around the graveyard, this card is insane that it lets you do all that stuff. And then we play a single copy of Tempest, Dragon Ruler of Storms. Tempest is really good in here because it's an additional body to put on board. And it also, again, banishes those cards that are in your graveyard and puts them into your banished pile because it lets you keep using them over and over again to recycle them with Konoha over and over again. So it's really, really, really helpful to just be able to have that Tempest in the deck. And having a 2400 beat stick at the end of the board is still really good. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Upstart Goblin because you really want to just draw into the cards that you need to get into in this deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Now, Foolish Burial is an interesting tech in here. Some people look at this card and it's like, oh, wait, I want them banished. Why am I playing this? Well, sometimes you open up a hand where you don't have Konoha Elder and you really need Konoha Elder. But basically, if you drop the Foolish Burial, and when you activate that Foolish Burial and you have Lara or Seraph Piccola, it pretty much turns into Konoha Elder because you have Konoha, Zephyr Piccola, or Lara on your side of the field, and it just revives back that copy of your Konoha, and then Konoha's effect activates, banishes the Zephyr Piccola, or not the Rapingu, and then you contact them in and get your copy of Zephyr Piccola, or not the Lara and the copy of the Rapingu back on your side of the field, and then put your copy of Konoha in the graveyard, and then you get your search too. So it really helps out with playing the Foolish Burial because it gives you additional plays. Now, for Gold Sark, we do play Gold Sark as a one-of because you want those cards banished, and it says banish basically any card in your deck. This deck was actually one of the reasons that this card got limited, so it's really good to play this card as a one-of. 1 copy of E-Telly. This is another deck that probably was the reason that E-Telly got limited and stayed limited. But it's really good in the deck because what E-Telly does for the deck is it gets you Elder out on your side of the field. Because it lets you special summon a Psychic monster from your deck that's a level 3 or lower from your hand or deck. So you basically get your copies of your Elder to your side of the field to get you that additional normal summon, which is really nice. Then we play a single copy of Dimensional Shifter, this card, or Dimensional Fisher, which this card hurts our opponent a lot more than it hurts us. So that's when we play it as a one-of in the deck because it's really good, again, to get our cards banished. And so we just can roll them from the banish pile into the graveyard. 3 copies of Double Summon. Double Summon comes in super handy because if you don't draw into your copy of Elder and you draw something else, like one of your Windas and a Konoha, you can just normal summon out the Winda, drop Double Summon, normal summon out the Konoha, and you can still recover your plays with Double Summon because if you don't have that second summon, you're kind of in a bad situation. If you don't have E-Telly or Double Summon or Foolish Burial plus Lara or Win plus Golsark, you're in a bad spot. But you have a lot of 2-card combos in the deck that get you to where you need to go into Konoha. Then we play 3 copies of Perform Pal Popper Up. Popper Up I really like because it can help out so much in this deck because you can send 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard to draw 3 cards. That helps out a lot in this deck. You can discard 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't matter, but you take basically, essentially, the way the deck card works in this deck is for every card you discard, you're going to take 1,000 points of damage. Pretty much, because you're not going to draw any of the cards that this card needs to not do damage to you. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So, we do play traps in this deck, and you need to play the traps in this deck. So the first one is Macrocosmos. Macrocosmos is just like D-Fisher. I main it because I feel like it hurts my opponent a lot more than it hurts me. So I play this card as a one-of because you really just need to get this card out on the field. Like, if your opponent tries to go in with like a deck that's kind of like Shed All or something, this deck, it's gonna totally turn their deck off. So playing 3 D-Fishers or playing this D-Fisher and 3 copies of Dimensional Shifter just turns the entire deck into a banish everything kind of deck, and that's really, really good. Then we play 3 copies of Ritual Beast Steeds. Ritual Beast Steeds is really good in here because if you control a Ritual Beast, you can destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast cards you currently control. So what you do is you activate Steeds first, and then you activate Ambush, and Ambush resolves first, which Ambush has an insanely good effect, which you play it as a 3 of. Ambush's effect is let you target one of your Ritual Beast Tamers and a Ritual Beast Spiritual Beast that's banished or in your graveyard, and you special summon them in defense position. And after this card is activated, you can't special summon monsters that have Ritual Beasts for the rest of the turn. So you activate this first, and then, or you activate the Steeds first, and then Ambush. And then once you resolve it like this, you essentially get up to like 6 pops on your opponent. So if you have like a Konoha on the field, you activate the Konoha's effect, spin it back, special summon 2 Spiritual Beasts and a Ritual Beast to your side of the field. And then after you resolve that, if you have the Link monster as well, and then you activate Ambush, you're going to have 5 monsters on field, and then Steeds is going to get you 5 pops on your side of the field as well, which is going to get you plays to be able to just instantly just do all sorts of really, really good stuff. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So I will mention, you guys, basically your ideal setup for this is getting a Ambush and a Steeds, at least 1 Ambush and 1 Steeds on your side of the field with like a Konoha in defense and the Ritual Beast Camus Falcon on your side of the field as well. If you can get this on your opponent's turn, then you essentially have 5 pops because you're just going to spin this back and special summon back 2 materials and then resolve this and get 2 more materials and then a pop for 5, which is pretty much what the entire focus of the deck is. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get a Gaia Paleo or whatever it is, the Ultra Griffalo on your side of the field as well, and then you get some really crazy stuff going on. So we're going to be playing 3 copies of Konoha. Konoha is the best Ritual Beast monster in the entire, like, archetype, because it's the Searcher. But basically what this card does is it must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above materials you control, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. You don't use Polymerization. You just tag it in, and then once per turn, you can target 2 your banished Ritual Beast cards and return them to the graveyard. And if you do, add a Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. And then during either player's turn, you can return this card you control to the extra deck to target 2 your banished Ritual Beasts, 1 Ritual Beast monster, and 1 Spiritual Beast monster, and special summon them. So that's really neat. The way that it works is as long as one of the 2 go to your graveyard, when you resolve the effect to search, it resolves, and you can chain Konoha's effects to one another. So you chain the first effect to it, and then you chain the second effect to spin it. So the spin effect resolves first. So if you have, for instance, just to show you guys a quick way that it works, is if you have like Konoha, Elder, and Winda in your banished pile, what you do is you target the copies of you target 2 of them to go to the graveyard. Like, for instance, the Konoha and the Elder. And then when you special summon to your side of the field, you summon back the Winda and the Winda and the Elda, and then, or the Winda and Elder, and then you send this to your graveyard and you special summon these, and it resolves to search, and then you search a copy of like Ambush or something like that, and then you get a plus off of it, which is the way that it loops over and over again to get it out on the field, to get all those crazy plays that your Konoha actually pulls off, which is kind of crazy that it kind of breaks the whole mechanic for doing that, but it's the way it's worded. Then we play 2 copies of Ultia Paleo. Ultia Paleo, it pretty much is just really good because if you attack with this card, then if this card attacks, is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step, and then during either player's turn, you return it, and it does the exact same thing as Konoha, where it returns, special summons a Spiritual Beast monster and a Spiritual Beast Tamer to your side of the field, and you have to put a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast into this card to tag it in. 1 copy of Ulti Pedalfin. Ulti Pedalfin is just a super defensive card, then it can't be destroyed by card effects, and it has 2800 defense. It's just good to have another Ritual Beast monster in your extra deck. And then 2 copies of Gaia Paleo. Now, Gaia Paleo is the one that takes a lot of commitment to go into, but sometimes not. You kind of get it out with Winda usually, just to kind of get it out on your side of the field, because what it does is it must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above materials you control, and it takes an ulti and it takes a copy of your, it takes an ulti, a regular Tamer, and a regular Spiritual Beast, which is going to help out the deck quite a lot just to get those monsters off your side of the field to just immediately just go in for all sorts of stuff. Because it also has the ability that during either player's turn when a spell or trap is activated, that you get to immediately after this card resolves negate that effect by banishing a Ritual Beast card from your hand, which is super helpful just to be able to get that off your side of the field to just get those plays rolling. It just is super, super helpful. Then we play 2 copies of Ultimate Kamoom Falcon. Kamoom Falcon is really good because it's an extender for the deck. It lets you Konoha for like 3 or 4 times per turn because this card can help you get the materials out of the graveyard. And it lets them gain 600 attack when it points to them, but you can banish a Ritual Beast monster from your graveyard to immediately after this card resolves, get you a normal summon, which is going to get you those additional plays off. Then we play a single copy of Access Code Talker because we also play our copy of Unicorn and our copy of Phoenix, which is going to get us 3 different types, which is Fire, Wind, and Dark in our graveyard with this lineup to be able to use Access Code Talker's effect. And plus, if you use the Nightmare Unicorn, it's going to go up all the way up to like 5,300, so it's a big beat stick. And then I play a single copy of Tornado Dragon and a single copy of Exciton Knight just to blow board, because we have plenty of cards in the deck that's going to be able to get us into those cards, like Konoha and Winda, that you can overload those two to get into the copies of your extra deck monsters. Rapingu and Apaleo are also cards. I usually don't use these, but it's just in case I need to just pop something, like pop a spell or trap. You have the Nightmare Phoenix or the Tornado Dragon, and the Exciton Knight just blows board just in case I need to. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend that you guys give Ritual Beast a try because they're a little complicated, I will admit. They're a little complicated on like Infernity's level, in my opinion, of complicated how to play them, but they're fun. They're really fun because once you learn the combos of the deck, it's really hard to like sit the deck down because you just start comboing off and it's like, oh my god, I can do this, 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 and then you can just keep going with it. And I do that sometimes where I just sit down on this deck and it's super fun. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you can come part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.